So we're now joined by Sporting Director and Head Coach Bobby Smyrniotis alongside Captain Kyle Becker. We have questions in the room first, so we'll start in the room and then we'll head over to Zoom. Anybody on Zoom, just raise your hand and then we'll get to you once we're done with questions in the room. Starting in the room, we'll start off with Charlie O'Connor-Clark. Go ahead, Charlie.
Sure. I guess one for both of you to start. Your third time in this competition, third time against Mexican opposition. How prepared and excited do you feel for knowing what's to come tomorrow night?
Yeah, excited. These are the games you want to play in. They're those midweek games under the lights against big competition. Something to play for it's really special. And obviously I'm getting a little up there in my career and I don't want to take any of these for granted, but it's a big opponent, a big ask, but something to look forward to.
Yeah, sometimes you always got to remember that it's a privilege to be in these games, in these competitions. It's not your right. We've made it a standard at our club. Third time competing in Champions Cup, sixth time in 6 years competing in Concacaf competitions. You just want to get better at what you're doing out here. You know, this is our third time around with Mexican competition. Obviously, at this time of the year, you know, they're mid-season form teams, but you learn something from each occasion, and you try and work on those details, and that's what we're trying to do in this one. You know, give ourselves an opportunity with these two games to play another two.
A question for both of you guys. It's less than 3 months since the Canadian Premier League final. From a Canadian soccer point of view and from a forwards point of view, how big is that? In the sense that now we have only an off season that's less than 3 months, where in the past in Canada it's been almost 5 months at certain times. How big is that for a club and then how for you as a player as well?
Yeah, I think for us, it's one thing we've gotten used to over time. It's having these, I don't want to call them a short off season. I call it a regular off season, because when we look at the global market of football, it's usually not as long as even as we've had right now, which was I believe 7 weeks until we got started with preseason. So, you know, I think it's something we want to do. We love being on the pitch. We love working, and this gives us an opportunity to do it. So you want to be playing in these competitions, and you want to make sure you've got this team together. For me, it's a joy working with you guys. This year, it's a little bit of a year where we've got some turnover in the squad, so it's been a little bit also of a refresher for us as the staff to get out there working with the guys, and it's been an excellent 4.5 weeks up to now in preseason. And what better way to test it than with a game in Champions Cup?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, you kind of crave routine, right? Off seasons can be difficult to start in this country. And they're brand new with not the most amount of teams in it. It is difficult. That is a challenge. So we know playing in this competition gives us a little bit more semblance of normalcy. And the more we're playing, the more we're working towards something, the happier we are as a group, as a player specifically. So it is a challenge coming in, knowing that we're coming from an off season. We have a few months off there in the middle of the season, but something you kind of just got to embrace and get back to it. And then, as coach said, we've had a ton of turnover this year, which is exciting. But we've had an opportunity to bring the group in. We had a great preseason down in Mexico and trying to build off that.
And probably just a follow up to some player updates. I know we signed Ali, who was training today. Saw your statement in the press release, but you had more comments on bringing Ali in. And do you have any update for us on Benny and Malik as well?
Yeah, I think you bring up the name Ali, and you can probably see there's a smile coming out. I mean, that doesn't usually come out very easily. Yeah, he's a fantastic player. You know, it's a fantastic player that's been great for our team for 3 years, and I hope that he continues to be great, and he will be. And he's a player that has an upward trajectory and can be playing in a lot of leagues outside of here. I'm not the guy who decides on that, but I'm happy to have him in my midfield with guys like Bex, Borges, Jensen, and all of those players that we have. Yeah, you asked me about Malik. Malik, at this moment yesterday, you know, we'd come to an agreement with the club overseas. Totally signed off on the transfer, and things fell apart on their end right at the end, so no transfer certificate was requested. Yeah, so it's unfortunate a little bit for the player, as the transfer agreement was co-signed by both clubs. That's football. It's not the first time it's happened in football. It's not the last, and we keep moving forward on.
And you have on Benny?
Yeah, no further update on Benny, so there's nothing really to discuss on his end. We have the guys here who are ready to go and play in this important competition, and that's who we rely on.
Supposed to be a little brisk tomorrow night with maybe some snow. Do you see that as an advantage with a club coming up from Mexico, or is that, everyone deals with it with no difference?
Yeah, it's February in Canada. We're playing in the middle of July in Mexico or something. I'm pretty sure it'd be 35, 40 degrees, humid. You go play in Mexico City and you're playing at altitude or different places. So I think that's what you get in February in Canada. Cold, and the colder the better. Is it the ideal situation for either team? No, but it's something that we're used to. It's something like guys like Kyle sitting next to me grew up playing in, not just now as a professional, but he's done it as a youth player. It brings its challenges, but yeah, that's the conditions we have. And in football, you have everything on the field, the tactical side of things, but then you also have to look at the outside environment. That could be injuries, that could be the weather, that could be climate. And this one brings a unique one in the cold. And I've said it before, sometimes the colder the better.
Bobby, you said you get used to it. You grew up and you're used to it. Are you used to it?
What it is, it's something we've all dealt with here in this country. What's better than playing a game under the lights with some snow?
Coach, from Monterrey, what do you think about a team as Monterrey that has bring players like Sergio Canales? They are about to bring Sergio Ramos. What are your thoughts about that?
They have a very good connection with Sevilla in Spain. Over the years, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah, and let's say it as it is. Monterrey's, maybe top 3 big clubs in Mexico when you look at them, Tigres and Club America. So I think on our radar, I think we only have Club America and Tigres left to play. There's Cruz Azul, Guadalajara, and Rayados out of the way in Champions Cup. It's a big club. They've obviously had a lot of success in this tournament, and they take this tournament seriously. Very good players around the park. Canales is an excellent quality player that makes the difference in their team. And a lot of the stuff that happens with their team goes through him. But yeah, he's not the only one. Maybe they'd like a different start to the Clausura over the last 5 games, but I think that doesn't make a difference when you come into this competition. It's you always change your mentality. That's something that we're also used to as a club, going from one competition to the other. Of course, a lot of success in this competition. It's important to their club. We've seen it with the amount of times they've won the competition in the past. So we expect their best tomorrow night.
So, and he told you that you have faced 3 times Mexican team with this. What's the key for you to take the next step in this tournament?
Yeah, I think it's the little details. If you look over the games and you look at our competitive games last year with Chivas Guadalajara, I think we played some excellent football both here and down in Guadalajara. But it's the small details that make the difference. You can't make little mistakes in transitional moments. You have to be really turned on in set pieces and different things. And it's a part of the time period we're in. We've played 4 friendly matches, and in the last month they've played an Apertura final 2 times with Club America in 5 matches. So it's a different level of preparedness. So that's something that we need to be aware of. If you're aware of it as a team, and you know that you're not at your best physically, you have to be able to understand what tactically you need to do on the pitch. That's the one thing that this team has done. Since day one, even though the players have changed, the mentality has always been good. Tactically, we're very prepared for the games. And whether you're Monterrey or anyone else, you're vulnerable in certain areas of the game. So we have to make sure we take advantage of that, and we have to neutralize what they bring. And they bring a lot of good things, but yeah, we've got a plan in place, and that's how we'll always look at it.
I'm speaking a little backwards what you were just saying. Do you guys believe it's an advantage or disadvantage knowing that they already play 6 games and you guys had an off season? Is it an advantage for you guys that you've been able to have content to study, or they didn't see you for these past months?
Yeah, I think it's always an advantage when you're playing. Match rhythm is something that's very important. To come from nothing to play games. It's a tough thing. We've had 4 preparation games down in Mexico, and as good as they've been and as intense as they've been, it's different than when you're really locked in as a player. So I think the advantage is there for them. They're more match ready. They're more prepared. But like I said before, you know, that means that tactically you need to be spot on. So it's a big responsibility on us as the coaching staff to try and relay those messages to the players. And the match has to be about that. It has to be about the tactical nuances that are occurring, us being able to adjust, and them being able to adjust to us. So if we take the game there, then I think we give ourselves a very good chance.
Follow up for the question about Sergio Ramos. Do you guys, as players, believe it's a push for you, knowing that along the run, if you keep on passing, you might be able to even see the Miami, Messi, or even when you guys go there, that play against Sergio Ramos?
Yeah, I think as a player, you want to play against the best competition. Regardless if Sergio Ramos plays or not, Monterrey is a very good team, and I think we owe them the respect in going out and performance and not standing up. So we have to be up for whoever dresses, and we know they're going to be quality. And yeah, it's all good.
Any other questions in the room? Okay, we'll head over to Zoom. Only question we have on Zoom is from Neil Davidson. Go ahead, Neil.
Thank you. Bobby, regarding the re-signing of Alessandro Hoja-Rapport, has he been training with the team? Is he good to go tomorrow?
Yeah, he's in good fitness. He's been training with us for the last few days. You know, it's not something that Ali left here back in November, and we haven't talked since. So we've been in constant communication. So I've been aware of, you know, where he is physically, what he's been doing. He's been training over this time period. He's come in here within the last week, training with us, and you know, just like he was when he left in November. So he's ready to go.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Perfect. That ends the press conference for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.